Hello, hello. How is everyone? Are you enjoying Medium Day so far? I hope you are. I am Tony Stubblebine, by the way. I'm the CEO here, and I'm going to start by plugging the Q&A feature. Put your questions here in the Q&A feature, and we're going to try to answer them at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time at the Medium booth. Today, of course, is Medium Day, which is my favorite day of the year because we get to celebrate the Medium community. There are more than 160 speakers here today, and those speakers demonstrate the incredible breadth of Medium. This is a place where you can learn almost anything. And also, can I say this is a really smart community? You're so smart and so thoughtful, and that comes through on a day like today. In this era where the internet is so busy and so crowded and so divisive, I just have to tip our hat to the writers because every time you write on Medium, you make the world a little bit more understandable, and a little bit more connected. So today's speakers are a powerful taste, basically the tip of the iceberg of what makes Medium a special home for all writing. Today is also a chance for us to give a company update. If you've if you remember other updates from the last two Medium days, then this one is going to be different. And the first difference is that we have more than one speaker. So I'll see you again near the end of our update. And now am going to pass the mic. So first up, please give a warm welcome to Medium's Vice President of Content, Scott Lamb.
Hello, everybody. It's so fun to be here with you. My favorite part of the year is Medium Day, and my favorite part of Medium Day is seeing all of the updates where people are from. I'm just so grateful to be here with you. I'm Scott Lamb. I'm the Vice President of Content here at Medium, and my job is to help more people get writing. I'm so grateful to be here, to have an international conference with thousands of people focused on reading and writing in the midst of everything that's happening in the world right now feels incredibly special. So thank you for being here with us. And I'm grateful that we're able to be having this conversation at all. If you've been paying attention to the Medium over the course of the last couple of years, you know that it was close there for a minute. We nearly went out of business. We nearly disappeared. There's a classic man in hole story here, about how we dug our way out of it. And I'm going to drop that into the chat right now. But this was a piece that Tony wrote in July about the turnaround. And the TLDR is that we knew there was something incredibly valuable here to save. And we needed to reset the business. We needed to reset the platform. And the work of the last little while has been about improving the reading and writing experience on Medium. And really rebuilding from the ground up with a focus on the power of simplicity. So everything that we've been shipping recently is focused on reducing the friction and making it simpler for anyone to share their story and connect with readers on Medium. A big turning point for us earlier this year, excuse me, was a pretty simple rallying cry. We wanted anyone who was thinking about writing on the internet to choose Medium as their home. And to do that well, we knew that we needed to do two things. The first was to deserve it. We needed to really start with what matters the most, the writing experience, both the tools and the community that Medium offers. And as I said, to create a simpler, more powerful way to write stories and find readers. The second thing we needed to do was communicate it. And so today you'll hear a lot more about how we delivered on both of these fronts, creating something in the process that I think the internet desperately needed, which is a sustainable home for writing that deepens human understanding. So for context, before we get into all the updates, I just wanted to talk for a moment about what it is that we think Medium actually is. We talk about Medium as a reading and writing company. I think this would make a great t-shirt. And on the one hand, sure, we are a reading and writing platform. And in fact, Medium exists in a long internet tradition of user-created platforms. But we're not just user-generated content. UGC is the, I think, very gross industry term for that. I've been trying to land something that I think is a little meatier and a little bit more descriptive of what actually happens on Medium, which is ECC, experience created content. I'm really trying to make this happen, guys. So please sprinkle it into conversation, use it on social media. I think it's a huge upgrade because writing that's driven by experience is just so valuable. This isn't about the so-called creator economy or the hustle culture of the content grind. Yes, you can make money on Medium, and the partner program is a really important part of our business. But it's important to keep in mind that 80% of what gets published on Medium isn't behind a paywall. We're also not just a platform. Medium really wants to be a home for everyone who writes, from professional writers to professionals who write, from people living through upheaval in Nepal to people who are writing casual reviews of their favorite snack foods, from UX experts to someone writing about the daily lives of crows. We really believe that all forms of writing are equally valid. And that really gets at the core of what Medium is. We are here to help you just start writing. That's the theme of Medium Day this year. And as you'll see, it's been the theme of all the work that our team has been doing over the last little while. The reason is we really believe at our core that writing is good for individual people. It's good for humanity as a whole. And we champion it as a ritual that's inherently rewarding and can benefit anyone. And I think this is really important, whether they already identify as a writer or not. I know I am preaching to the choir because you're here on Medium Day, but why writing? I think at the core, it really gets down to a couple of things. And key is because writing is thinking. Writing helps you clarify and actually understand what it is that you think. Because writing is universal. Everyone has knowledge and experience worth sharing. Because writing is accessible, there's no special equipment needed to do it. And because writing is portable. I don't know about you, but a lot of my experience, even on TikTok and Reels, essentially is reading writing. I'm reading the captions, I'm reading the text on screen, and it travels all across the internet. Really, if you think about it, writing is the foundation of a better internet, one where people think more deeply, share more generously, and understand each other just a little bit better. So I know our conversation today is happening, as Tony said, in the midst of some massive shifts online. Social media has been really fragmented over the last couple of years. The advent of AI text generation has totally transformed the landscape of the written word online. In a lot of ways, the world has never felt more divided. But at Medium, we really believe there's still no technology more powerful than reading and writing. The invention of writing was a bigger deal for humanity than the invention of the wheel. And honestly, AI pales in comparison. I think at the end of the day, people are curious, people want to be smart, and there's nothing better than hearing about the experiences and stories of other people's lives to help deepen your own understanding of the world. So right now, we see the biggest opportunity in writing's history. We see that every day on Medium, on the platform. Since we've launched, millions of people have shared and published something on Medium, and every day, tens of thousands more add their stories to the total. And that's just the beginning. We believe really deeply that everyone is a writer. Looking at things and just sort of taking a step back, looking at global literacy rates and total internet access, we think there are about 5 billion people on the planet right now who could be writing online. And those are people who we are sure have stories to tell. Comparing that to the actual writing activity across a number of platforms, we think there's about 1 billion people right now who've published something in the past online. And that gap really reveals the vision of where we're going. Our goal is to help get the next billion people writing. That's a big number, and you might think that it's crazy, but we think that we can help get there. And I think that you, our community of readers and writers, can help. So today we're going to start talking about how we make that happen. I'm going to start by handing it over to our senior product storyteller, Zuli Rain, who is going to talk you through some of the concrete innovations we've built this year for writers on Medium.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for the introduction, Scott. My name is Zuli Rain, and I am the Senior Product Storyteller here at Medium. That's my official job title. My unofficial job title, and the way I love to introduce myself, is that I'm Medium's #1 fan. I have been writing here for 7 years, and during those 7 years, it's been my pleasure and it's been my privilege to help other writers understand how to use Medium to reach their readers, to tell their story. Like Scott said, I'm going to be talking about the updates that we've been making in the past year to make Medium a better place to tell your story and reach your readers. But before I get into all the details, I want to define who I mean by a writer. I do mean the people who write every day. Medium is for you, we're building Medium for you, and these product updates are for you. But I also mean the person who has never published on Medium before, but is feeling that urge, that itch to come to a platform and share their story because we're building Medium for you too. So as I go through these updates, keep that in mind that these are applicable for you too, and we want to be a home for your story. Medium is about these two things at its core. We have a lot of other stuff going for us, but at our core, we are a place for writers to tell their story and reach their readers and to rinse and repeat that process. That's what makes Medium the best place to read and write on the internet. So all these updates that I'm about to talk about, they're not really a change of direction. They're not going in a new avenue. They're a strengthening of our commitment to being the best place for those two things. So if you're anything like me, you're feeling like this past year has been a flurry of product updates and announcements and improvements. I'm not going to talk about all of these, but I will talk about these two specifically, reaching what stories reach your audience and keeping up to date with Medium writers that you love even more easily. So let's start with the first one, email and in-app notifications about new stories, aka how can you let your readers know when you've published something new? We wanted to develop a whole work stream to this idea, this idea of directly distributing your stories to your readers. So if you look at the lower left hand of my screen, you're going to see the faces of these Medium employees who are so dedicated to that. They're working on that. And for the idea of direct distribution to make sense, I want to talk a little bit about the two streams that Medium uses to share your stories to readers. The first one is algorithmic recommendations. You're probably already familiar with this idea. It's the idea that when you write a story on Medium, we're going to distribute it to readers based on their interests and based on what you're writing about. And this is great because it means you can show up here. You don't have a single follower to your name, but your story still has a chance to reach its readers. The second method is just as powerful, and it is the direct channel. When you have a reader, you publish something new, and they have a direct way to find your stories. If you're on TikTok, it's kind of like the follow feed is the direct distribution channel, while Medium's recommendations are like the For You feed. We know that our recommendation algorithm is really strong. We hear from writers that it's great to show up, tell your story, and reach your readers. And we hear from readers that they love getting these awesome, tailored recommendations. They don't need to follow a ton of writers. Medium knows what they like and can deliver those stories to them. But we also heard that it was easy, too easy to miss a new story from a writer that you love and follow. And so we really wanted to strengthen this channel of direct distribution. There are a lot of different ways that we have gone, could go, and will go in the future about how to strengthen that channel, but the one we started with was, what if we just made it easier for readers to get notified whenever you publish a new story? What if we made that really simple for them to say, I want to get everything that this person is publishing on Medium? And it was a really simple design tweak. This is what it looks like if you followed somebody recently on Medium. You've seen this. It's that when you follow someone, you're prompted to sign up to get notified when they publish something new. I'm condensing so much work and effort and love and care and strategy that went into this decision in a single screenshot. So if you want to hear more about how we build product, how we make these decisions, what the design is all involved, I really recommend that you watch the design team's recording, which will be uploaded at a time to come. And because I am a Medium fangirl and I can't help but give you Medium facts, I wanted to quickly explain what TK means. It is journalistic shorthand for to come, and it's really commonly used when you're writing a story and you want to not interrupt your flow, but you know you want to come back and fix the wording, go deeper, find a link, something. So you write TK and you move on with your story. And a Medium fact, it's a little Easter egg, if you actually use this in Medium, oh, I had a screenshot, must not have saved. Anyway, you'll have to try it out for yourself. Type TK in the Medium editor and then try to publish your story, and you'll see that Medium prompts you to say, hey, wait, go back. You had a TK in there. There was something you wanted to revisit. So try it out for yourself. what was the upshot of this simple design tweak? It was actually monumental, the change that it made. We saw that writers are getting 30 times more subscribers than they were before we made this change. 30 times more followers who said, yeah, I do want to hear from this writer when they publish something new. And I know that writers love to see the subscribe number go up. I know I do for sure. But I want to say that it wasn't just that that number goes up. Yes, 30 times more notification subscribers. But we also saw that writers were using that feature more often, that they were using the tick box when they published their story to say, I want to send this out to my email notification subscribers because they were feeling the strength of that distribution channel. And looking at the stories that we were able to track, stories that are sent by emails are getting 6 times more reads than before we made this change. So, in essence, taking away the numbers, here's the story. We made the tweak, writers are using it more to reach their readers, and readers are using it more to keep up to date with the writers whose writing they love and don't want to miss. So what does that look like in practice? Well, here is a screenshot of my inbox. This is Dr. Jess Steyer. She spoke earlier today at Medium, so catch that recording as well if you missed it, and she writes about public health. She publishes all her stories on Medium, which is how I found her originally, but she also publishes them through her email subscription, which I know because I get her emails and I read them all the time. And what I want to make clear here is that we've given the power back to the writers and to the readers, that the writer has this option to send the email. They choose if they want to send that email to their writers, to their readers, and the readers have the option to A, sign up, and B, whether they want to read that email, when they want to read it. That's all in their hands. Another example is Leonore. She's also speaking today at Medium. She's checked the schedule to find her talk. She writes about crows and other corvids on Medium. And I love birds and crows, so I followed her pretty quickly. She recently started publishing serialized fiction. I am not a big fiction reader on Medium, so there's a chance that the recommendation algorithm wouldn't have shown me her fiction stories because it's not really my reading habits. But because I told Medium, send me anything Leonore publishes, I got her serialized fiction notification right to my inbox, and it meant that I was able to not miss a single thing. And of course, we know writers love this, but we know readers love it too. I don't think I can say it better than JTech, so thank you, JTech, for saying that it is. It is always nice to get an email when your favorite writers drop something new. That's all, well, that's a very small portion of the work that we've done to help bring your story to more readers. This next project that I'm going to talk about was more about how can we make writers understand that distribution happening behind the scenes? How can we help them feel that? And crucially, how can we help them use that information to reach their readers more effectively? And here's what that looked like. It was basically that we've shown them how many times we present their story across Medium surfaces. So that's the home feed, it's in the app, it's when they get, when they look in search, when they go to that writer's profile, in the recommended stories, all the presentations across Medium, they see that number. They can also see at a glance how many followers and subscribers they get. This is hot off the presses, so I've included a screenshot from Camille, who's also working on the direct distribution team. This is from last week of us celebrating, of us launching and rolling out to 100% of writers. So you should be able to check out your stats page and get this information right away. So you've got this big picture look, but you also get a more granular look at how each individual story performed. How many times is it being presented? How are readers reacting when they see that story? Are they clicking it? Are they choosing to follow you? Now, I love to give advice about how to write on Medium to reach your readers, and I thought I would use this opportunity as well because I know if you're anything like me, you are wondering, how can I use this data? I want to reach more readers. I want to get more subscribers. What can I do with this knowledge? What can I do with these presentations and subscriber numbers? Well, I asked our data science team, what can writers do to increase presentations and to get more subscribers? And they found that it's the tools that you've had access to all along, which was a great confirmation. You can add good fit topics. When you publish a story on Medium, add 5 topics that tell Medium's algorithm and readers what your story is about. That's going to help us distribute it to interested readers. It's submitting your stories to publications that can give it a good home so you can leverage the publication's audience to get readers on your stories. And to turn those readers into followers and subscribers, it's not a surprise. Fill out your bio. Tell readers why they should click on your story, why they should trust you to tell that story, and why they should stick around and hear more from you. That's in theory. This is what it looks like in practice. It's adding these 5 topics, it's filling out your bio, it's finding a publication that can be a good home to your story, and trying out different topics, try out different publications, use the tools that we have at your disposal to find your readers on Medium. That's all it is on the Medium end. The rest is up to you. It's up to the writer. Tell a good story, write a good title, give readers a reason to click and to read. And it's up to the readers. Do they want to read that story? Are they going to choose after reading that story to follow you? And that is something that you'll be cultivating with your readers, that relationship, giving them a reason to click, read, subscribe. Zooming way back out to what Scott was saying earlier, we want to make Medium the best place to write and publish and read on the internet. And do these updates align with that? Are we feeling like that's what's being accomplished? Out of all the numbers and graphs and screenshots that I've shared, this is the one that I'm most proud to share with you, is that compared to January of this year, we have 50% more writers, high quality writers, publishing on Medium. This is excluding anybody posting spam or, scams or AI generated slop. These are high quality writers who have come to Medium to share their story. And that to me says that we're on the right track, that readers are feeling that Medium is a great place to come and read great stories, and that writers are feeling that it is easy to come here, tell your story, and reach your readers. But Medium does not operate in a vacuum. Writers don't operate in a vacuum. One of the most important parts of being a writer is finding your community on Medium. And so here to share a little bit more about the community updates and the work we're doing to make Medium a great place to find and build your community is our community manager, Cassandra Mendes.
Hi, everyone. I'm Cassandra Mendes, Community Manager here at Medium. This is my first Medium day, so I'm very excited to be here with you all, share our community updates, and share how we're investing in your Medium experience. So as you just heard from Zuli, our team is hard at work making Medium the #1 place to publish on the internet. That means making Medium work better for writers, editors, and readers. We know that writers come to Medium for more than just a place to post. When I first joined Medium as a writer in 2022, I was looking for a community, a place to grow my skills and discover new ideas. And I found it at Medium. And I know that's true for so many Medium writers. You come here because you want your writing to be discovered, to grow your audience, and to feel part of a community that values ideas and stories. And that's exactly what we're building at Medium. I may be new to the team, but I'm already feeling excited about the updates we've made and the ones we have on the way. Our team here is focused on 3 key pillars: making Medium easy to use, easy to grow, and easy to connect. Every update we launch is designed with these goals in mind to help you share your work more seamlessly, expand your reach, and engage more deeply with others. So let me show you what that looks like. First, we're making Medium easy to use because tools should never get in the way of sharing your ideas. Our goal is to make publishing on Medium as simple as possible. Starting with our publication updates. Publications are more than just story collections. They're the home of the Medium community. Publication editors curate ideas, they nurture writers, and they shape the conversations that readers find on Medium. Today, we have nearly 5,000 active publications on Medium, with an average 65,000 stories being published in publications each month. So for each of those stories, editors are providing coaching and notes to writers and helping them reach their audience. And in fact, new writers receive 4 times as many presentations when they publish in a publication compared to self-publishing. And when I spoke with editors, the #1 thing they all emphasized was how meaningful it was to support other writers. These numbers show just how big of an impact that support really is. The bottom line here is publications help writers grow, and writers help publications grow. It's a cycle. Editors invest time and expertise, writers bring fresh voices and ideas, and together you're creating a community that makes Medium better for everyone. So how are we helping you to keep that cycle going? We've simplified how you manage publications. Now all your management settings, including the About page, are in one drop-down menu. We've standardized design across publications so interested writers can design their own publication from scratch. And finally, with the new navigation options, editors can organize stories by latest story or by topic, and readers can filter for what they care about most. But we're not stopping at just simplifying design and management. We've also overhauled the story submission process to save editors time, improve discovery for writers, and make the whole workflow easier. So no more designing application forms or sending writers to your email inbox if you don't want to. With the new publication submissions, editors now have the choice to take more control. You can opt into a streamlined inbox that brings submissions from existing and new writers into one place, with filters that show you the status of every story. So you can turn on accepting submissions when you're available or turn them off when you need a break, giving you more flexibility and time back. For writers, submissions are even simpler and more transparent. You can easily discover publications that are seeking new voices, read their guidelines, then send a draft. And the numbers show the impact. Since launching just a few weeks ago, more than 300 publications are accepting submissions, and over 1,300 new writers have published in a publication. That's writers that are new to your pub or new to Medium at all. And more than 150,000 stories have been accepted. I mean, that is a huge amount of editorial care and community support happening on Medium every single day. But it's not just about the numbers. Editors like Cole Frederick from the Science Spectrum Pub shared that the new system helps him and his co-editor, Harlan, coordinate their weekly schedule. They're saving time and they can focus more on supporting writers. But of course, this is just part of the story. Writers also want to see their work reach more readers. That's why our next focus is on making it easy to grow on Medium, starting with publication featuring. Publication featuring gives editors the power to spotlight stories directly to their publication followers. Once a story is featured, the Medium recommends it more prominently in emails, the For You feed, publication story pages, notifications, and literally anywhere else followers see your stories. Featured stories are another way that humans curate Medium with subject matter expertise and not just an algorithm. We've also made improvements to help featured stories stand out even more. Followers of a publication now see a dedicated feature section in their homepage, and with the redesigned navigation bar, it's even simpler for writers to reach their audience with the stories they care about. One of my favorite examples here comes from Dim Nikoff, editor at Tasteable, a food writing publication. He's using features to strengthen his relationship with readers and bring stories back to life. What I really love about his quote here is that it shows the two key benefits of featuring, helping readers discover new work instantly and giving editors a way to highlight stories to their audience. This is the exact kind of human touch that makes Medium a home for great writing, inspiring writers, and engaged readers. But with all of these changes, our goal isn't just to help writers reach an audience. It's to help you feel part of a community. The new features you've seen today came directly from your feedback, and we're committed to keep listening to writers and editors, improving that functionality and building what matters. That brings me to our final pillar and the updates I'm most excited about, making it easy to connect on Medium. I know from my own experience that having a community around you to encourage you with claps and responses really helps to keep you going, and it's what encouraged me when I first started as a new writer. That's why we're investing in community programs that make Medium the best home for writers. We're focused on supporting writers right from the beginning, helping you overcome the blank page, learn the basics, and find the answers you need. The 3 examples I want to highlight here are our Just Start Writing Challenge, our weekly Medium 101 webinars, and the Medium Handbook. Each one is designed to make Medium more approachable, give writers more confidence, and help them build stronger foundations. In June, we launched our Just Start Writing 20-day challenge, which included daily writing prompts and weekly events to help writers just start writing. More than 2,300 writers participated, and they published over 400 stories across topics like self, culture, and so much more. It was a really powerful way to help writers finish drafts and share their voice. Each week, we also host the Medium 101 webinar for beginners on Zoom. And this is also an open invite to join me. I host the Friday sessions if you're interested. These webinars are practical hands-on sessions that cover the basics of Medium, from formatting a title to pressing publish. We're helping new writers build skills while reducing those beginner questions and common mistakes. And finally, we launched the Medium Handbook, a living collection of answers to writers' most pressing questions. While our Help Center teaches you how to use Medium, the handbook is your guide for how to grow on Medium. The handbook teaches you why should you publish in a publication, how to use your stats, and strategies for growth. And many of the stories are really written in direct response to the questions we hear most often from you. We want to take the mystery out of Medium with helpful resources that teach and empower writers at every stage. So, what makes these initiatives really powerful is how they're shaping the community. We've heard from writers that the Just Start Writing Challenge gave them the push they needed to start their draft, that the 101 webinars gave them the information they needed to understand Medium. And all around, writers are sharing how Medium's new programs and resources are helping them find community, prompting them to write, and answering their burning questions. So, what's coming next? I'm excited to share that we're building on the foundation we've laid this year. We're going to expand new writer education and resources with email, blogs, and video. We're focusing on tailored support for both new and tenured writers. And finally, we'll be hosting even more virtual events that bring the community together. This is just the beginning of how we'll continue to grow the community with your support. I hope you're as excited as I am about the journey ahead. Now we have officially wrapped up all our community updates, but there are still a few big topics to discuss. So I'm passing the mic back to our VP of Content, Scott, to share more.
Awesome, Cassandra, thank you so much. Guys, we're doing great. Look, we've already had what feels like a very full keynote so far, and we're a little over halfway through. We've got a couple more things that we want to share with you. Just one housekeeping thing, really quick call out, just a reminder, if you have questions for us, we're going to be doing a Q&A with Cassandra and Tony in the Medium publication booth in a little bit, but for right now, put those questions in the Q&A tool in Zoom, and we'll be capturing those and passing them on. It wouldn't be a tech company keynote in 2025 if we didn't have an AI update. So here I am with that. We know that the topic of AI is on everyone's mind. It's probably one of the biggest things that we hear about, questions from our users. It's one of the biggest topics in terms of reading and writing on Medium. It's also one of our key tracks for today. So just in case you haven't seen it, I want to put a plug in for the AI for Humans track. In Medium Day, we've had a number of speakers already who have joined us, more coming this afternoon. But if AI is a thing you're interested in and want to learn more about, we have some great sessions today about it. So check that out. AI is also a pretty broad topic, so I really want to focus just on three things for our update today in Medium Day. Really focusing in on how we're protecting Medium users from AI slop, what our principles are when it comes to AI, and how we're thinking about our own products. And then just a quick update on how we're working to give writers more control about if and how AI trains on their words. When it comes to AI slop on Medium, first I just want to say we hear you. We know that writers are seeing it in their responses, editors are seeing it in their submission queues. So I want to talk about it a little bit, but I think a definition here is probably pretty helpful. AI slop, we think of as mass-produced, low-quality writing using AI generative tools, and always characterized by kind of a lack of effort and substance. It's meant to be an insult. This is a critique, both of the quality of these types of posts and the intent behind them. AI slop isn't just about using AI tools, but using them thoughtlessly and carelessly and pumping out junk rather than creating something useful. I hate it. I really hate AI slop. It's the exact opposite of why I think any of us at Medium get up in the morning, which is to elevate thoughtful human stories. So please know we are taking steps to battle AI slop. It's one of the jobs, I think, of any experience-created content platforms. And it's one that we take really seriously. Our trust and safety teams, our curation teams, and others are actively working against the tide of AI slop. And I want to say just a little bit about what they're up to. One caveat here, because we know some slop lords are intentionally flooding AI, Medium with AI to try and game our partner program. I'm not going to go into detail that's going to help them with their tactics. But generally, we're pursuing it along two lines: automated behavior detection and a human review process. So while it's easy to look at it, or it's actually not easy to look at a single story and say with absolute certainty that it's AI generated or not, you can very easily look at someone publishing multiple stories a day on a wide variety of topics and spot a pattern there. So for us, looking at behavior, not just content, is really key. The other important thing to note is that we're taking a really quality-focused approach rather than just relying on AI detection tools when we have humans reviewing content. In short, low-quality stories that don't offer meaningful insight or value to our readers are not going to get wider distribution on our platform, whether they're AI generated or not. So there's no perfect system here, but wanted to talk about how we're approaching this on multiple fronts. I think it's also worth saying AI is not just a monolith. There are many use cases for AI tools in contexts, surprisingly, besides generating slop. Deployed with intent, AI is a valuable tool that helps people do more. So while our stance on fully generated AI stories is going to remain unwavering, we are a technology company. We're looking at other ways that AI tools can help us. That's part of the reason why we recently released our AI principles about how Medium is going to be approaching AI in our product and in our technologies. I'm just dropping that link into the channel as well. I think maybe the easiest way to talk about it is just to use an example and talk that through. Our recommendation algorithm, which is the part of Medium that recommends stories for you to read and makes decisions about what readers are interested in, has used AI for years, although we used to call it machine learning. And it already exemplifies, I think, all three of our principles. It amplifies human stories by taking the curation team's signal for valuable quality writing. It connects writers with interested readers, which I think speaks to writer incentives. And lastly, it gives readers multiple ways to bypass the AI recommendations entirely if they choose. So for instance, you can follow to get email notifications from writers that you like, follow publications that also show up in your following feed, and that gives users agency. So those really are our principles in a nutshell. These principles are new, and we're actively looking for ways to test them against our product decisions to help us think differently, make different types of decisions, and how we'll make decisions going forward, I think are going to be largely dictated by those principles. So lastly, I want to just touch on a new concrete way that we're working to clarify how and if AI companies are allowed to access, cite, or train on Medium writers' work. And for Medium writers, this is critical. This is about protecting your rights. So we want to maintain our default no stance when it comes to AI companies training on your writing without consent, credit, or compensation. But the newly released Real Simple Licensing Standard, the RSL standard, gives us a technical path forward here. RSL, which I'll also drop a link into the channel about 1 second, gives us, I think, a lot of flexibility in the way that we approach this and a lot of options for writers. For instance, it creates a path forward for writers who don't want their words to be used to train LLM models, but do want their work cited in AI results, which we believe is going to become a pretty significant source of new readers in the future, sort of similar to how AI search works today. Writers who don't want to be included in training will have the ability to opt out. I'm not going to go into great technical detail here, but if you do want to get into the details, the co-creator of the RSL standard, Eckert Walther, is going to be speaking today at Medium Day. It's at 3:30 Eastern time, which is in just about 2 hours. So look for his session in the lobby and join that, and he'll be going into a lot greater detail about what the standard is, what the implementation is going to look like going forward, and all of that. Last thing from me, critically, just to note, this also opens up a path for us to pursue negotiating for compensation on writers' behalf. We're going to be taking on negotiation as a service. We'll have more updates here in the future. It's worth pointing out that Medium is the only platform right now that is negotiating on behalf of individual writers for payment from the big AI companies. So again, this fits into our goals, the 3 C's, and giving writers more control over their relationship with AI. That's the AI update with no AI at all. I'm an actual human being. In short, there's a lot afoot and a lot more to come. So far, so good, right? This has been, I don't know, we've had a lot of news to share. And I think usually at this point, we'd probably be just about ready to wrap things up. But wait, there's more. Just one more thing, or sorry, the producer is saying something in my ear. I was wrong. Three more things. Yeah, three more things. I'm going to pass it over to Tony, who I think has the first update of the three about the Medium Partner Program. Tony, take it away.
Thank you, Scott, for bringing me back to take us through the home stretch. Yes, I have three final updates, and the first one is an addition to the partner program. We're going to add an incentive to the partner program that rewards you when you share your writing and bring new readers to your own writing. So many of you have asked for this for a long time, asking essentially, why doesn't the partner program pay for external traffic? Well, we're going to start. But first, I need to give a history of where the partner program came from and what it's trying to achieve, because not everyone knows even why we have it. The partner program here at Medium is a financial reward for a small but crucial group of writers on Medium, and without them, we wouldn't be able to achieve our mission of being a company that puts substance over attention. The program launched in 2017 because of a realization by our founder, Ed Williams, that ad-driven businesses always led to these incentives for attention. And that's what led to so many of the things that many of us find toxic on the internet. So Medium launched a subscription at that point so that we could, what he felt was so that we could be an honest business, paid for directly by our readers. And in order to make that business work, we also launched a partnership with our writers to put some of the best writing on Medium behind a paywall. And what makes this program unique is that it is open to all writers, which means that any writer can dip in and can dip out. The benefits our readers got is that all the writing on Medium comes for just one price, right? You just pay once, you don't have to manage multiple paid subscriptions. The benefits for writers is they got a chance to get rewarded for the writing they were already doing, and to get that reward with a real freedom to write about whatever it is that you wanted to write about and to write whenever you want. Typically, that freedom does not exist in paid writing, and typically that paid writing is not even open to the types of writers who thrive on Medium. And that's special too, because Medium welcomes professional writers, but the heart of Medium is the idea that every one of you is a writer, and everyone has at least one great story to tell. So our partner program welcomes that idea that you can come and get rewarded, even if it's just the one thing you're going to write. And for us, and I think for a group of writers, this has been a very significant success. Um, and uh, and I want to talk uh, about kind of the sweet spot of it. A uh, if you are a writer who writes occasionally, if you are a writer who would normally write outside of the paywall, if you are a writer who reaches our biggest audiences, then yes, the Medium Partner Program often pays hundreds or thousands of dollars per story, and it gives these writers a reward for putting extra time into their writing. And most importantly, it has worked as a partnership. Medium is able to exist as an ad-free community and to keep investing in being a home for writing because we're able to find a group of writers to be in a partnership with. But I want to acknowledge that this program does not work for everyone. There's many great writers here who find that the partner program payout is inconsistent. They may find that some stories only earn pennies. And when the payout changes, the change can feel very sudden, as I think it did in January of this year. And this is the limitation of the program that we've had to date. This program is really very dependent on the interests of our current readers, and it can shift as either their interests shift or as we get better at matching their interests. So what we're planning to do here is to expand, to start to reward what we'd say is the missing half of the partner program, which is to reward external traffic, visitors from Google, the audience that you build and the readers you bring from your socials. So we're going to start with a small change on October 1st, and then follow that up with more changes in this direction, probably about one per month for at least 6 months. The October change is to start paying for external traffic, as I said, in a small way, not to make radical changes all at once. We're going to add 5% of the partner program payout in this direction. And we're going to focus the calculation on stories that convert new readers into new members. What this means for you is more reward for this thing that I think you all already do, right? Writers write wanting to be read, and the Medium network does bring a lot of readers, but typically almost all writers are also doing the work of sharing their writing all over the internet. So, specifically, that includes when you write something, an email or text it to a friend. It includes taking the time to share your writing on social media. It includes taking the time to use our SEO optimization features so that your story ranks high on Google. And then in November, we're going to make a similar change in this direction. But the details of that are to come and will be based at some level on what the results of October are. That's the first of my 3 updates. Almost getting to the end. 2 more to go. We're down to the last 2 announcements. First, there's this ethos that Medium tries to deliver about the value of thoughtfulness, the value of being informed, and more than anything, the value of reading and writing. And so you may notice that I'm wearing this very stylish, full sleeve, black t-shirt that says reading on the front, and on the back it says writing. And for me, this ethos is part of my identity. I love reading and writing, and I like to wear clothing to make the point. So as of today, the Medium merch store is live, where yes, you can get this shirt that I'm wearing and others. I know everyone has different tastes, but I'll share what else I purchased. I went with the Long Live long form shirt, and I also went with the tote bag that says in between drafts, because it's true that when I'm on an errand out of the house, I often wish I was actually back at home writing. So these like moments out and about are the pause between the thing that I most wish that I was doing. That's all for that announcement, which means that we're now on to the last announcement. Hit it, Ray. Yes, we've broken ground on a new writing app. That TK feature is one of 4 innovations that we're designing the app around. But it's the one I think that most shows that Medium is for humans and human writing, and that the role of technology when we use it is to be an assistant to you, not to be a replacement. So I might leave the other three innovations as a mystery for now. They are TK, as they say. The Medium TK app is waitlist only. I can share, though, where we are in the development of it. It's far enough along that I use it every day for all of my writing. It's got my notes, my drafts, and basically my entire writing history. That prior history ends up fueling my future writing. And so for me, my history is 3,000 posts, drafts, and responses that I've written on Medium, and another 3,000 notes that I've imported from my old note-taking tools. And yet, we're still a ways off from opening it up to beta users. When we do, TK will be for our friends of Medium tier only, and that should tell you a lot about what we intend. It's to make a writing tool that is powerful enough to pay for. The invites will be going out gradually when we're ready to open it up, and they'll be going on a first come, first serve basis. So if you want to be on the waiting list, head over to medium.com/TK and get your name there. And with that, we actually are all out of announcements. If you get your questions in, then I will show back up with Cassandra at the Medium booth at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time to answer them. I want to give a huge thank you to our speakers, Scott, Cassandra, Zuli, and the whole Medium team who puts Medium Day together. If you want to know the name of the person most singularly responsible for today, her name is Carly. Carly, you make an amazing day possible. Thank you. Little shout out, if baby Z is watching, I want you to know that your mom also played a big role and we need her to come back to work. As for the rest of the audience, the rest of the day is a celebration of the Medium community. Go here and talk to some amazing speakers as a representative of the entire Medium staff. Thank you to every one of you. You inspire us and we love building for you. Thank you.